Hello and welcome back to Pirate Warriors 4. I have beaten the game now, and so I wanted to come back with some late game impressions. Talk about the characters, talk about who you can play as, talk a little bit about the story, and then about the game itself. So starting off, let's just look at the characters. Of course, now we have all of the Straw Hats unlocked. We have, of course, Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, and Brook. They do not have Jinbei in with the Straw Hats, which is a mistake, but I talked about that a lot on Twitter. You can always check me out there if you want to hear me rant about stuff like that. Then in the next slot, we have Whitebeard and Marco, who I'm very close to unlocking. You may say, Trey, have you not played 30 different episodes and got grade S in all of them? Because that doesn't count the story episodes, but we'll get to that. Ace, Kaido, who is playable but only in human form. You cannot transform with him at all. Big Mom, who is fairly fun to play as, I suppose. Katakuri, who is a blast to play as. I think he is my strongest character. Yeah, he is my strongest character. Shanks, Blackbeard, Bartolomeo, and Cavendish. It's a little odd. I mean, I get why Barto and Cavendish are the choices because, like, they're the most popular ones. But I kind of would have liked to play as the Tentatas or as, like, Hajdruden or something. Pirate 2 has Law, Kid, who is also a blast to play as, Hawkins, Beige, and that's it of the Supernovas. You don't get to play as Drake, you don't get to play as Bonnie, you don't get to play as Apu. Again, I understand why you don't get to play as Killer. I understand why they went for the big ones in the current arcs, but like Drake is popular. Let me play as Drake. I want to play as a T-Rex. Mihawk, Jinbei, Doflamingo, Crocodile, Hancock, and Buggy. Also, Buggy is the only one of the East Blue villains that is playable. Would have been nice to have a couple more of them playable in the game. Crocodile is the only one of Baroque Works, I guess technically other than Robin, that's playable. Would have been nice to have some more of them playable as well. Marine, which is Akainu, Kizaru, Fujitora, Smoker, and Tashiji. And then Other, which is Rob Lucci. Also, yeah, you can't play as Garp. You can't play as Garp. You can't play as Kobe. Then Rob Lucci, the only member of CP9 playable, but sure, that makes sense. I would have liked to play as Jabra or Kaku, but you know. Kuzan, Sabo, Ivankov, Carrot, Reiju, Ichiji, Niji, and Yonji. Cannot play as Judge, and you cannot play as Pedro or Pecoms. But sure, that makes sense to me too, honestly, because Carrot's a big fan favorite. I think this roster is okay. I think that, and when we get into the story stuff in a minute, which we're going to get into once I get into a map and just start playing, I think that what they have done with this roster is really good. I do think there are some large gaps in the roster when we are this many games into the series. This is the 4th Pirate Warriors games. And it just feels weird not to have some of the old characters be playable. They're just not here. And I would have liked to have seen a more full roster. I mean, when you look at it, Pirate 1 and Pirate 2 were pretty full. You could fit one more character there on the end. You definitely could have put Jinbei in with the Straw Hats. But then Marine, there are more Marines that we know of. And then Other just doesn't have... Like, Burgess shows up a lot in the story and in the levels, along with Blackbeard, because he's the only one of Blackbeard's guys that they programmed in. It would have been nice to play as Burgess, or as Jack the Drought, who also shows up a lot. Jack would have been really cool to play as. It just feels a little weird, but either way, we'll go as Katakuri, and we'll talk about the story and my thoughts on that. We'll play through a map, and I'll show that off, and we'll show off how the growth maps work, and then we'll go back and I'll show off the story missions. We'll talk about those. So, the growth maps are pretty cool. I like this whole setup a lot. The first map is for everybody, so even when you just get a character, they still have a default level that they're at. Then they have a secondary map, which you have to get their own personal map, I suppose, which you have to get coins from across the levels to be able to use. I haven't unlocked these yet. I don't know if I need certain coins to get there or what's going on there. But like these, I can't upgrade because I don't have the gold coin for them yet. And the gold coins can be used multiple times. So you have to do the specific missions to get those. And then you get a third map, which is also particular to that character. And is special and is just for boosts, basically. It's stats. Obviously, you want to max those as best you can, but we need more Katakuri coins, so we got to play more Katakuri. Then, of course, you have your special moves. You unlock more on the first and second maps. Some of the characters. I haven't seen that many secondary, or secondary maps, that is. But I bought the music DLC. Honestly, I don't think it's worth $16. I paid $16 for it because you get We Are, you get Believe, you get Shining Ray, Bon Voyage, Kokoro no Chizu. We Are the Straw Hat version, Jungle P. We Are for the New World. We Go, Hands Up, We Can, Over the Top, Horizon, and Family. Now we're gonna just use a regular one because I don't want this video to get copyright. But let's do Onward to One. That's a good one. I think that those songs are really good. It's not all the OPs. I really like We Fight Together, and Fight Together is not on there at all. But it was fun for me to have those, and I used them on most of the maps that I played. So, just as in the original video, movesets are pretty much exactly what you would expect. They are your combos. Each character has their own individual combos. Kill the enemies, kill the commanders, kill the named characters to win the map. And every map has its own individual missions, right? I think that Katakuri is probably my favorite one to play as, but I think that almost everybody that I've played as is really fun. There's not a bad character that I've seen so far. I don't really enjoy playing Big Mom, but she's good. She's very strong. Kaido is extremely powerful, but it feels, again, the fact that these characters have movesets, like Kaku has a moveset, Jabra has a moveset. I would have liked to have gotten to play them, you know, it just would have been nice. We're quite a few games into this series now, and it feels like this should be the celebration. Maybe the 5th one will be, you know? But it feels like at this point we should just have everybody, and we don't. Which is unfortunate. Also, these missions can wind up being pretty long. Which, I mean, that's fine. They're the entirety of the game, right? Between this and the story mode. But I just feel like, especially with how powerful I've made Katakuri, as you can tell, he's just kind of breezing through people here. Should be a little bit faster to kill some of the enemies. You can also get juggled by enemies, which can be very annoying, but some characters have heals, like Katakuri does, allow you to heal, and then there are treasure chests around the map that allow you to heal that way too. So it's not like you don't have options, you know? You gotta defeat Ichiji, Iji, Yonji, and Reiju. They are a pain when they are all fighting together, but when you're fighting just one-on-one, they're not that bad at all. Obviously, I probably should have said sooner, there will be some spoilers in this video if you are not caught up on One Piece. But as you can see, we kind of just melt characters at this point with Katakuri. But there are definitely some enemies, especially the larger enemies, the giants, are really annoying to kill because of how much HP they have. I need to level Katakuri's defense up more too because he takes a lot of damage. But for me, I've complained about the characters, right? The playable characters and how many there are. For me, the game is really just having fun playing around with these characters. And I think in that aspect, it definitely does succeed. If you are just looking for a good time playing around with One Piece characters, this is the one to go with. They have their iconic moves. You can use the different stages of some of the characters. But again, after this, we'll go into the story mode, and we'll talk a little bit about stages of characters. Because some characters have their pre-time skip moves, and some don't. Some characters just don't have that at all, which is really weird because, again, they show up on the map, just like Kaku and Jabra and the others. It's just weird, especially, again, if this was like the first one, or if this was an offshoot, I probably wouldn't care as much, but this is the 4th game in the series. And it's odd to have, you could play pre-time skip Straw Hats in the previous game, but not in this one, you know? Oh, we need to be capturing that point. I wasn't even paying attention to the mission. I was trying to kill Ichiji, Niji, and Yonji. Alright, we'll go down there and we'll take that. We have 45 seconds. There's plenty of time. We'll come back for you. Back, let's go ahead and mousse our donuts. Oh, we need to heal too. We're getting pretty low. Let's take out Jabra and then we'll heal, because we don't have a lot of time either. There we go. Man, Katakuri's so much fun to play at. Look at that, like, complete battlefield dominance that he is. He is a monster. There we go. Heal up. Oh, he dropped a heal too. Nice. Beat Jabra. There we go. I have a bad habit of trying to take every single field, and you really don't have to do that. You can kind of just focus on the ones that are important. Oh, crap. Alright, GG. There's also one really cool thing they did in this game, is that they have power characters, speed characters, and flight characters. And flight characters feel very different from the others, which I think is really cool. That's a good way to differentiate your gameplay. Sanji and Ichiji, Yonji, and Niji are all going to play very differently from a Katakuri or a Luffy. Or even a... Kinemon, okay. Even a Zoro, because he's a power type. It's really weird to me that Kinemon's not playable. Like, I'm actually kind of upset about that, because Kinemon is such an important character in the arc that we're in right now. He's an important character in the previous arcs as well, and he's just not playable. It's where I feel like this game, for every couple steps forward that it takes, it also takes a couple steps back, and it's just not a great feeling, you know? Alright, let's take this messenger out. Yep. We'll take Ichiji out. Oh, we're really low on health. Heal up. I think there's more health down there too. Yep. Also, sometimes the camera angle, as you can see, can be really bad. This is a problem that a lot of games have. And I'm not really sure how we still haven't fixed the camera angle problem, but we definitely have not. Right, where's that messenger? I got a bad habit of focusing on the named enemies instead of on the mission. There we go. We can go ahead and take the courthouse too while we're right here. This is where the enemies spawn from for the most part, and so you can kind of just camp those and destroy people so that you can take it, because the leader also comes out of there. And then you just lock them in the corner and take them out. Oh, nuts. I feel like the game audio is a little too loud. I'm sorry, everybody. I thought I was keeping a good eye on it, but apparently it was not. It also has the same old problem that Dynasty Warriors have had forever, of you do a thing and then it takes like a minute as it goes through all the other dialogue that's been building up to be able to clear that thing off. It's not that big of a deal because, again, you just get used to it if you play a lot of Dynasty Warriors games, but it definitely is still in this. And especially these later missions, like I said earlier that it feels like some of these later missions go forever. It's because people just keep showing up. Rablucci might be the enemy commander. It seems like it. But I've had missions now where the enemy commander shows up, and then there's another enemy commander that'll show up. You should probably be able to jump over that fence. Katakuri should definitely be able to jump over that fence. I do like, though, again, that Katakuri is huge. They just let you be huge. Whereas in a lot of Musou, they would have made you the same size anyway. Donuts, and then we'll Musou donuts. And then we'll take Rablucci down. Oh, we got hit in the back. I blew up. But you know you don't hit a man in the back, Luno. It's not right. That move is so good. And there we go. He was the enemy commander. Cool. And then, of course, you can run around, which you can't attack anymore while it plays the dialogue. I don't think we did very good on that one because I didn't kill that many people, but we'll see. Oh, we still got an S. Nice. Need a bunch of those to unlock Marco. I really want to play as Marco. But again, like, it's weird. You can get... Like, Josu's not a character that I would be like, oh, man, I want to play as Josu. But it's a character that you probably should be able to play as, since you can gather Josu's coins. And, like, Das Bones, you can gather his coins, but you can't play as him, you know? And it feels weird. But we'll go to the story mode, and I'll show you what I mean there, and we'll talk about the problem that I have with pre-time skip, post-time skip, and the arcs, and then we'll call this video. Because I do really enjoy playing this game. I don't want it to come off as I'm just ranting on how bad this game is, but it definitely has some problems that I did not know of when I started that have only come out because I've finished it now. That I want everybody to know that may still be on the fence whether or not to play it. If we go to the dramatic log, it's our story. We go all the way back to the beginning. You don't get to play East Blue at all. You start in Alabasta, and you can play through all of Alabasta. But you can only play through as Luffy, Sanji, or Zoro. You cannot play as any of the other characters. Vivi is not playable at all. You can't play pre-time skip Nami or Chopper. You do get to play pre-time skip Usopp later, but just one time. He's only available in that one chapter, which is unfortunate. From Alabasta, you go straight to Enies Lobby Water 7. I don't have a huge issue with that, because although, like, I really would love to play Drum Kingdom, sure, Drum Island, I guess, I get it, right? That's not that big of an arc, but you could have tacked it on somewhere in here, have like a East Blue plus Drum Island, and you just unlock the Drum Island level afterwards. There's just a lot of missions you don't get to play. You don't get to fight Buggy in the original. I can't even remember the name of the town right now. I'm so sorry. You don't get to do Arlong Park. You don't get to do Captain Kuro or the Baratier. And those have been big missions in the previous games, and they're just not here at all, which is really strange to me. So you get Enies Lobby, and you go through all of Enies Lobby. You don't really get to do Water 7 that much. You get a little bit of it right at the start. But then you go into Enies Lobby here. And sure, that's cool. You don't get to play as Frankie here. You don't get to play as Robin. You don't get to play as Chopper because they're all pre-time skip and they don't have pre-time skip movesets, which again is very unfortunate. Then you go straight to the Summit War. You don't have Thriller Bark. You don't have any of the other intervening arcs. It's just straight from there to the Summit War. You don't even have Impel Down. It's Shabadi and then straight into Marineford. And it just feels really weird because, again, Thriller Bark was huge in the last game. Impel Down was huge in the last game. And you just skip them completely. It feels so strange. Then it's time skip time. Shabadi arc, sure, makes sense. Straight to Dressrosa. Alright, so we're not doing Punk Hazard. Cool. Because of the time skip, you can now play as any of the Straw Hats because all of their movesets are now unlocked. And yeah, sure, they're cool, but I would have liked to have played them pre-time skip, you know. So then it's straight Dressrosa. You do all of Dressrosa. Dressrosa's fun. The first half of Dressrosa was game only in the previous game. It's now the full of Dressrosa, which is cool. That's great. Specifically, where is it? This one? This map is really fun. This is a really well-designed map. You start off in the Coliseum, and it's not a zone that you can grab. It's not a battlefield that you can conquer. It's instead just a fight, which I think is really cool. And then you get transported to the ones you can conquer. Then we go straight to Whole Cake. Again, no Fishman Island, no Punk Hazard, nothing like that. But I get it because Whole Cake is a big arc that the games have not been able to do before. So here we go. Now we have Whole Cake. You go through all of Whole Cake, which is pretty good. Oven doesn't exist in this. Judge is not on the battlefield, really. He's there for like one mission. Smoothie, Cracker, none of them. It's just Perospero, and again, you can't play as Perospero either in the rest of the game. It just feels really weird. Pedro doesn't exist in this. It just feels like they skipped so much to get this out. And then you go into Land of Wano, which is game original, and it starts... I wish I could say that it like follows the plot up until a certain point, but it kind of just skips to the moment where Luffy and Zoro meet again. And then from there, it goes off in its own thing. And you fight, oh my gosh, you fight Jack, Hawkins, and Drake so much that it only exemplified even more to me that why can't I play as Jack and Drake? Because they have full movesets when they're in their Zoan forms. All it would have taken was some human movesets and you could have played as them. And it just feels really weird because you fight them so many times in this. It does eventually come to a really cool head at the end where you have to fight against Kaido, and it's really cool. And I actually think this original story is pretty solid. It's not perfect. There's a lot of weird things with it. Blackbeard shows up at one point and says that he wants to kill all the other Yonko. But it's a nifty idea, and I like that they did it. I just feel like, as a whole, again, we look at this. That's 6. From all of One Piece, you have no East Blue, you have no Skypiea, you have no Arlong Park because, again, you have no East Blue, no Thriller Bark, you have none of some of the, like, Impel Down, none of some of the most recognizable arcs in the game because you just have these 6, and I get it. One Piece is a huge story, it is gigantic, how could you ever contain all of it in one game? But I feel like you gotta at least try. Maybe don't give me 6 Alabasta levels and, 4 Sabaody Archipelago levels. Maybe give me just 2 Alabasta levels, but I also get to play East Blue. And I also get to play, or 2 East Blue levels. And I also get to play, 2 Thriller Bark levels, or even just 1 Thriller Bark level. It just feels really weird to just skip those arcs. And again, why are there so few characters? We're going to go back to the character list here. We're going to count them off again because it just does not make sense to me. This character list. You have the 9 Straw Hats without Jinbei, right? Jinbei's in another spot. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 19 characters so far. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 29 characters so far. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. 43 characters is a pretty big roster, right? But when I look at this versus, say, Warriors Orochi, and Warriors Orochi 4 has, 90 characters, I look at this and go, well, yeah, this is good, but why are they not all here? Why can't we have just a couple more playable characters? And, well, yeah, it's money, yeah, it's time, but 43 characters out of all of One Piece? There's a lot of fan favorites that aren't here, and I know that I should be happy with what we got, but it just feels weird to not include some of the big fan favorites. I'm not saying you gotta have Gaimon, right? But you don't even fight Inaru in this game, and Inaru is a huge fan favorite. You cannot play as Bellamy. You cannot play as Bonnie. You cannot play... There's just so many, Kuro or Arlong. There's so many characters that just aren't available. Cracker's not even in the game. And it just feels doubtless that at this point, some of your favorite characters are going to get missed. And I wish that they had put a little bit more time, and I say it probably would have taken a lot more time, but especially the characters that are already enemies in the game, I don't see why they couldn't have been playable. Kaku has, again, you say, well, Trey, they just have their Zoan movesets, but Kaku, Jabra, Jack, and Drake all have their Zoan movesets. Just give them a human form moveset. Give them Rob Lucci's human form moveset. I don't care, but I just wanted to play as him, And so I know this video has come off as very gripey and complainy and just me throwing a fit about how this game could have been really good and is still really fun to play, but has some big problems with it. But it just feels really weird, again, to be 4 games into a series. I cannot excuse the lack of characters in this. And maybe they're going to come in DLC. And honestly, I hope they do because I'll pay for it. But I can't sit here and say that that's a good design choice to have them come in as DLC. I wish that was not the case. Regardless, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I have been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 has to offer.